Hello, everyone. I'm going to try this one again. I realize that this topic of the divine law is kind of touchy in some ways because it really stems from my curiosity with what governs government. What is a governing force that is umbrellaing itself over all of the decisions that are being made in this plane? And the more that I started tapping into my connection with God or source or the divine, the more I realized that they're actually that the divine is also governing the very mundane laws and the governments of this world. And so when I realized the power in that, being like, wait a second, if creation, if creator is actually has the power over even the governments, even what seems really challenging and dense in this physical plane, then does it not make more sense if I have a question or if I have a decision that needs to be made in my life to connect in with, does this decision is this decision in alignment with the ripple effect that I of the result, the how do I say this, the how the decisions we make have consequences. Even trying to make a decision, even the process of going inside of ourselves and exploring decisions that want to be made, that in itself has consequences. There is a ripple, a vibrational ripple of our own curiosities with ourselves in this life. So I like to believe that you just starting to pose questions to yourself, or getting to this place of being able to have deeper inquiry, like with our own beliefs. Do I actually still believe this? Do I actually still want this for myself? Do I still want this for humanity? Do I still believe that this is possible? Or is there a belief that is bigger than this? That all of these decisions that we have start creating this like little wave or this little ripple in our lives. Because I feel that life and creation loves to bounce back those questions and those ideas that we have with real life examples, real life experiences, real life connections, real life synchronicities, to bounce those questions that we have in our dream world with images, with symbolism, with metaphor. And so the divine law for me is something that is a really important foundation of how I make decisions and the direction that I take in my life, because I like to believe, or I do believe, that there is a law that is orchestrating all of the mundane laws in our life, all of the things that may feel like so big and so dense and hard to move through. Like if you even think of governing systems, that what can feel like really rigid and unpenetratable with our desires is actually still under the same governing force of the divine law, which can make exceptions. That there's always space for exceptions in your life. So if you are in a place where you feel really stuck in a corner with where to go in your life, I like to believe that there's always, if it's in alignment with the greater picture and the greater whole and what's really possible in this, for this planet, for this world, for humanity, that there's always an opportunity to have that little, that little crack open up where it may have felt like a wall, that little crack to let that light in. And the divine law I like to think of is when I remind myself that I'm actually in allegiance to the divine law. I'm actually in allegiance to this supporting force that is stewarding what I believe in, that is able to shift and morph and create options and create new opportunities and be more malleable for what's needed from me to actually grow and bloom in this life. I don't know if that makes sense. The Invisibles want to talk about it, so let's see what they have to say. Your curiosity in who are you putting your energy towards? What beliefs are you fostering in your womb, in your center space, in your column of light that's going to be shooting out through that seed of your intention, like a lighthouse? That each of you is holding a signature of who you are and what you are becoming and why you're here doing all of that growth in the first place. That signature, that blueprint of yourself has been sown into this world through the divine law. That there is a place for you that has been created and continues to be, how do we say this, reevaluated and evolves with the natural currents of life itself. And it's in this evolution that you are then becoming a conduit of the growth that humanity is going through. That you're becoming a conduit of what's needed in your body so that your body can hold the frequencies that your actions will then let out and pour forth into the world. That those actions then become capable of creating that change in the physical plane. So the divine law is something that can move us to move decisions through us, that then move out through us, through your actions, and shift and change and form and destroy and repair and rebuild and upgrade any laws that have been there before us and before this moment. That's where evolution comes. That's where ancestral evolution comes. What your ancestors believed in order to survive isn't always the same. It's not in the same necessity now. So the divine law acknowledges the many, 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 many actions that have been taken to get here and creates space to evolve itself with what's needed to get where we're going. Thank you. All right, well, that is for you today. And I'm going to go get my daughter from camp, but I thought I'd just throw that out there. And I'd love to hear what you have to say about the divine law. I wrote a little bit more about it when I was in a different space in myself, so that might help get you an idea of more of the foundational techniques. And there's a technique in there and a little practice that you can do. If you have any questions coming up, big questions, life-changing questions in your life. So have a beautiful day or a beautiful night or an authentic time doing whatever you are doing on this planet. Ciao.